Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla stock. Let's go over what is happening to the stock with a beautiful day today, up 3%. It was a little bit more obviously, but nonetheless, still a pretty damn nice day, especially when you compare it to the market as Tesla, of course, plays out that bullish pattern, the rising triangle. So let's talk about it. I'll give you my thoughts moving forward and all of that good stuff. So also, if you enjoyed my video, please don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Of course, if you enjoy my updates, etc., I do have a membership section on YouTube. That link is down below for just $3 a month. You get access to all my post thoughts, updates, etc. on Tesla stock and sometimes other stocks as well. Again, just $3 a month. Every single day the market is open as is trading essentially. Or for $5 a month, you get access to all of that, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well. But jumping into a Tesla with a beautiful 3.2% day, closing at $369.50 per share, which is pretty comical, almost as if it's just made for this stock. Sometimes you would think, but yeah, let's talk about it. So what does this mean moving forward for Tesla stock, right? Is this obviously bullish, bearish, whatever, right? Is there signs of concern? Let's talk about all that. So first and foremost, obviously the daily chart shows something, well, pretty simple, right? We had a nice ascending triangle pattern, which, you know, obviously could have fallen apart. There's nothing, no guarantees, but like I said, the bulls technically have the upper hand here, right? Until essentially proven otherwise, right? And the bulls absolutely stepped in, right? The main question, like I said earlier, also was just the fact that, you know, do we get one more drop down like this and then rally, or do we just rally from here, right? That was, of course, pretty much the main question. Well, we pretty much rallied straight from here. Now, we are getting some resistance at a very interesting spot. I'll mention that very, very soon as to what the spot is and what it actually means moving forward. But nonetheless, a very nice bullish rising triangle breakout pattern today. And, you know, there is in theory more upside to be had, right? That doesn't mean it has to happen tomorrow. For instance, tomorrow we could have a red day. Tomorrow we could come back down and retest this range that we just had, 360 to 363 as well. Now, hopefully support, of course, obviously was resistance. So, you know, it's not impossible to come back down to retest that before making our way back up. To 385 is still my main target that I would like to see sometime in December. Best case is 400, but I don't think we'll go much higher than that. Personally, just me personally speaking, if we do, I might even liquidate my I might even liquidate my long-term account because that's just too much too fast in my opinion. But that's kind of the main thing I'll be looking at. Now, obviously, you know, while we continue talking about the bullish trend before we get into some, you know, concerns, if you will, obviously other signs that are nice to see as well. You know, we have, if you bring out these bad boys here, right, we have three important EMAs, right? We have the 9 EMA, 9 or 8, doesn't matter, pretty much the same thing. 9 EMA, 8 EMA, same idea. The 21, the red line being, of course, and the white line at the bottom you can see there being the 50 EMA, right? This is a pretty powerful, you know, triple indicator. Honestly, you can even just make do with the 8/9 with the 21. Same idea. But the idea overall is whenever a stock is kind of going just parabolic or just, you know, very powerful bullish momentum, right? It loves to hug and pretty much dance the line around that 8 or 9 EMA, which is the green line you can see there. And Tesla, we've been talking about this for quite a while, has been pretty much dancing this line very, very nicely. Right now, it had one little, you know, potential false incident over here, but obviously, you know, one candle doesn't make a trend, right? It had a false breakdown, right? Some, you know, could have potentially been an exit position for some people, but you would naturally enter in the next candle, for instance, as an example. But nonetheless, for the most part, it's been pretty beautifully hugging this line almost to perfection, and it's continuing to do so, right? So again, that's why, in my opinion, Tesla doesn't really truly get bearish until either really, in my opinion, one of two things happen. We pretty much lose the 360 to 363-ish area as well support, right? Because that would be bearish, and I would view this as a false breakout. You definitely don't want that. Or I guess you can say we start losing the 8 or 9. I'm going to say 9. I actually switched it to 9 to give a little bit less false signals. The 9 EMA, right? The 9 EMA, losing that, of course, would be pretty bearish, and we would most likely make our way pretty quickly down to the 21 EMA. Losing that, of course, makes our way down pretty quickly to the market bias / the 50 EMA, which kind of line up roughly in the same type of way. And that would pretty much be the main things I'll be looking at. So again, until one of these things happen, Tesla is still technically bullish, right? Technically speaking, it is still bullish, especially with this pattern breakouts. The main thing to watch for now is, you know, maybe we get a little sideways action into a drawdown, turn this area back into support. The 8 EMA, will, of course, it's a very fast moving indicator, most likely make its way back up to this 360 range. Honestly, it could even be as early as tomorrow, but I would say no later than Monday. And, you know, let's see if we can continue treating it as a support, because right now, the best case scenario for bulls is a retest of 360 to 363, 8 EMA catches up tomorrow or Monday, both act as a support and both continue acting as a, you know, launch pad to make another leg higher, which is exactly what we've been doing here and here. technically speaking, even here you can argue, which I actually missed this entry. I'm sad about that. I should have looked at it better. I wasn't looking. This phenomenal risk versus reward over here. That was a really good entry. I wasn't looking at this indicator. I'll be honest. That was my mistake. I should have. But nonetheless, would have been a phenomenal entry there as well with the, very nice risk versus reward when we were selling off yesterday. Could have been a pretty cool entry. And there you go, right? So anyway, that's the main thing I'll be looking at for essentially bullish further confirmation and continuation. Now let's talk about the bearish side, right? What are the bearish aspects? Well, other than what I just mentioned in terms of losing that support level 360, 363 to the 9 EMA. That's step number one for being bearish, right? Number two is the fact that the band's regression, you can see we are now once again entering overbought territories, not substantially, but nonetheless an overbought, though the weekly is a completely different story. Very overbought on the weekly. So the weekly is something I'm a little bit concerned about. Also on the weekly, some other signs I'm concerned about, the RSI is getting to, very overbought levels on the weekly time frame, which, you don't see really often, and more often than not, and pretty much every single time we have entered overbought territories, we were close to a top. Doesn't mean this is the top. It doesn't mean we can't go higher. But the point is I'm trying to make is the fact that, it's close to a top. It's getting close to a top. And that's something you want to watch out for. Same with the stochastic. You can see if I bring out the stochastic, it doesn't get to these elevated levels too often. So let's take a look at the last 3 times it's been at overbought levels or very close to it. So obviously, right now is instance number 1. We're obviously well in that area. Instance number 2 is pretty much right over here. You can see where we had this nice little rally and we topped out around this kind of 260 area the first time. Remember that? And then we had the nice little drawdown on the weekly chart. Stochastic was pretty much overbought, right? Or very close to it. It wasn't even fully overbought. And, that's what happened essentially. And the previous 2 times was essentially back here, which was around July 2023. Same idea, nice little rally, pretty much up to 280s once again, similar level. Same idea, overbought stochastic, and just a couple weeks later, bam, we start making our way back down for a correction. Even over here, you can see we got, fairly overbought, and then we had a small correction as well. So I'm just bringing this up saying the fact that, there's a lot of euphoria, rightfully so in certain aspects. And, short term, the chart still looks pretty bullish. I see no bearishness whatsoever short term, right? Because, we're breaking out of a bullish pattern and we're still holding the very important short-term bullish momentum exponential moving averages. Like all that's still being held. I want to make that very clear. Tesla is not bearish. Now, is it at a level and is it getting close to a level where some serious bearishness and potentially a serious reversal can occur? Yes, it is. In my opinion, it is getting to that stage right now. But is it there yet? Nothing is confirming that. Nothing is telling me that it's ready to reverse. Nothing is, there's nothing obvious like that. So as far as I'm aware, worst case scenario, as I see it right now, Tesla will most likely either continue or, again, worst case, it will just essentially come back down to 360 to 363. And as long as that level holds, I see no reason to be bearish. Now, of course, losing that level, losing the 9 EMA. Okay, now we can start kind of talking about, all right, is the bullish momentum fading? Are we slowing down here, right? What's going on, right? That's when we can start talking about that. Until that happens, though, as far as I'm aware, the trend is still up, right? The trend is absolutely still up, and there's no reason to be bearish. And if you're shorting the stock right here, right now, you're pretty much just trying to time the top. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you won't. Who knows? But, that's just something to be careful about, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So those are probably the main things I'm eyeballing on Tesla right now. And that's kind of the main idea, I guess you can say, that I'm roughly looking at for Tesla stock moving forward. Take a look at the options flow very quickly. Options flow, the bulls are still dominating the bears as per usual. But as I scroll down, you can see, in the morning was where the main bullish momentum was, because pretty much as the breakout happened, right, as we broke above 363, a lot of calls started coming in. A lot of calls started coming in the morning. You can see here, right, all around that breakout range, right? And that's probably where the vast majority of this call flow did come in through on Tesla throughout the day. But you can see as we start heading towards the second half of the day, a lot more mixed, right? A lot more mixed. It doesn't feel like it's as bullish anymore. And why is that? Well, we are rejecting at the first resistance level, right? This one is a level that was a resistance all the way back here in 2022 of March, where you can see we did have some decent resistance around here. The next pivot point is up here at 385. So in my opinion, a daily close pretty much above 371 and change is needed to get a bit more confirmation that we do really want to go higher, and we do want to go to at least 285. Obviously a daily close of 385. Obviously a daily close above 385 most likely yields 400, and and so on and so forth, right? Pretty simple stuff until we start doing the opposite essentially, and we start turning what levels should in theory be supports back into a resistance, namely 360 to 363. So as long as 360 to 363 holds and the 9 EMA holds, I see no reason to be bearish. I find no reason to be bearish unless you're just trying to time the top. And again, maybe you get lucky, but you are trying to time the top. Kind of like me trying to time the bottom on Uber today. I'm just gonna, transparency. I tried catching this knife. I did lose a little bit on it. Nothing crazy. Again, minor, like super 0.1% of my account. But nonetheless, I did take L's here on Uber trying to catch this because this thing is down 10%, which is pretty crazy. So I did try to time the bottom because the bands are stupidly oversold. But this is kind of one of those instances as well where you're just kind of trying to time the bottom, or you're trying to snipe that bottom, similar to how maybe you're trying to snipe that top on Tesla right now. So maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. Nobody knows for sure, but it is of course kind of risky, right? But yeah, anyway, all that being said, that's all I got for you. Options flow confirmation in terms of bearish or bullish flow. NVIDIA actually is sitting up on the bearish flow there, but Tesla is slightly bullish, 26 million, not too bad whatsoever. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.